Arsenal holding Houssem Aouar transfer talks, but have two priorities over Lyon star. Arsenal remain in talks with Houssem Aouar's representatives, it has been claimed. The Lyon star has long been admired by Mikel Arteta and, with the transfer window still open, a move to the Emirates Stadium could be on the cards. However, while that's currently the case, the Gunners do have other priorities in mind. Arsenal came close to signing Aouar last summer. Arteta and Edu probed the possibility of a deal with Lyon, but when it became apparent they'd be unable to land the France international, they opted to land Thomas Partey instead. Arsenal are now in the mix for a playmaker, having lost Mesut Ozil to Fenerbahce back in January. And journalist Pete O'Rourke, speaking on the Football Terrace podcast, has claimed the Gunners are still in talks with Aouar's representatives. However, James Maddison and Martin Odegaard are their transfer priorities at the current moment in time. We know Arsenal have held a long-term interest in the French midfielder, but there are other priorities higher in the list than Arsenal. That's not to say he isn't on that list, but they're interested in James Maddison and Martin Odegaard, and then Aouar is probably third on that list, he said. Think you know sport? Test your sporting knowledge with our tricky quiz. If Arsenal can't make a breakthrough for Maddison or Odegaard, then we might see a bid from Arsenal for Aouar. I know his agents are still talking with Arsenal about a potential deal. It's one that's on the back burner right now, but I wouldn't rule it out. While Arsenal would prefer to sign Maddison or Odegaard, deals for both players are far from straightforward. Leicester want to keep Maddison and have slapped a £70 million price tag on the England international as they look to retain their prized asset. Regarding Odegaard, the Norway international flourished during a loan spell with Arsenal last season. But Real Madrid would prefer to keep the 22-year-old instead, despite Odegaard often struggling to get into the team. O'Rourke also claimed Arsenal were in the background when it comes to potentially signing Lautaro Martinez too. Don't miss Man United set Kane price by Tottenham chief Levy convinced Barcelona's strong's eye with Ronaldo and two other signings Arsenal's amazing squad. If Edu seals 6 more deals, Tottenham appear to be frontrunners in the race to sign the Inter Milan star, who fired his side to Serie A title glory last term. And O'Rourke said, "This one's going to rumble on, I think. We have Arsenal in the background, who were initially leading the race for Lautaro Martinez. But Tottenham have now jumped ahead of them and are trying to beat their rivals to Martinez's signature. And I think the ball is in Inter's court right now. If a big offer came, they'd find it pretty difficult to turn down." Meanwhile, former Manchester City star Danny Mills feels Arsenal are onto a winner with the signing of Ben White from Brighton. Do you want an exclusive pre-season preview for your club, both in your inbox and through your letterbox? Head over here to find out more and secure your copy. The England international has moved to the club for £50 million, making him one of the costliest signings in the club's history. But Mills thinks White will be worth the fee. Speaking exclusively to Ladbrokes at its launch of the 5-a-side bet on Man United v Leeds, he said, "Ben White is a fantastic player. He's very good on the ball, and he's clearly got a bright future ahead of him. If I'm being honest, I was a little surprised that a better club than Arsenal didn't come in for him and just give him something to think about. Yes, Arsenal are a big club, but they're not winning the Premier League anytime soon. First and foremost for them, it's about getting back into the top 6, then the top 4, before they can start thinking about mixing it with Man City and Chelsea in a title race. For Arsenal it's a great signing. I'm just surprised other clubs didn't come in for him. I'm expecting another difficult season for Arsenal. It goes without saying that on their day they can be great, but consistency has been their biggest problem for so long now. And when you look at the teams finishing above them last season, it's going to be very, very difficult for Arsenal to break into that top 6. Arsenal still need to figure out exactly what sort of a team they are and how they're going to play. It's almost like they still haven't sussed that out yet, and Mikel Arteta is still trying to work out how he wants to play. Maybe with a more settled defense this time out and that added solidity in the middle of the park, maybe this is the year they get it right. You need a core of maybe 8 players that are going to be starting week in, week out. Defensively you need consistency, because that's where you build relationships, consistency and an understanding. Your holding midfielder is very important, as is your center forward. Then around that core group of players, you can start changing things from time to time. Arsenal did not have that last season, and that was down to chopping and changing the personnel, the formation and tweaking the style of play, and it makes things very difficult.